This weekend was a very different one. I just got up, got the breakfast ready, and was waiting for something special to happen. I was just thinking of what should I make for the lunch. As I woke up early, it was as good as I was going to have a brunch and was really not sure what should be made. We usually keep accepting changes throughout our lives. From the last 12 years, I have been experiencing a lot of changes because of my kids, because of the surroundings, because of my husband's work. There have been a lot of changes that have been taking place in my life, and I kept accepting them. But of course, there was a lot of struggle to accept the facts or the changes. And however, I would like to accept one thing here that I learned from them. And that is why I love changing. I love the changes that happen around me all the time. I had a very different vision about change before, but now it has totally changed because changes are inevitable, and without a change, there is no life. With the changes around, we also have to change. And if we don't change, then we face a lot of difficulties in coping every problem that we face. So, one of the best ways to change or to accept change is to make it more challenging. Having a very typical vision about change is that change is not good, but that is not the truth. Changes are good. Changes give us the power of knowledge. We learn from every change that happens around us. And as we learn, we gain knowledge. There are people who have been living their lives in the same scenarios, monotonous ways. And sometimes I feel that this really affects their thinking. They kind of get limited to a particular place, job, or even a lifestyle that they have been living for years. But sometimes we just have to make ourselves free of that monotonous life that we have been living. Overall, we can say that change makes our life more challenging, thrilling, and interesting. And that is why I think change is very crucial to live a happy and healthy life. And healthy in the sense to be mentally very much fit and conscious all the time. Because changes are the ones who keep us alert all the time, who help us to learn how to be more conscious all the time. Having a monotonous life might really not help in learning this skill. While I was just going around the house, covering up all the tasks, I just thought of making something special on this weekend. I decided to cook the quinoa pulao. I thought of looking into the refrigerator to find out the right vegetables that might be used to cook the pulao. And I usually have the habit of forgetting many things that are stored inside my refrigerator. So I just looked inside and found out some green peas, frozen green peas and frozen sweet corns. And firstly, I washed them up very neatly, thoroughly, and then kept them aside. chopped up some carrots and I tried to chop them as thin as I can because my kids are quite choosy when they eat something which has vegetables. They just avoid eating the vegetables, so it's better to chop them a little small so that they cannot get rid of the vegetables when they are eating the food. One small onion was enough to make the pulao a little bit spicy and tasty. I chopped the onion into small pieces. So these are the vegetables that I'm going to use. There are some spices that have to be added to give it that flavor of pulao. Star anise, some cinnamon, some bay leaves, and even some black pepper and red chili powder. That's what I'm gonna use to add seasoning. So here goes the quinoa that I'm going to use. It's very important to clean the quinoa before using it or pouring it into the pan. So I'm just going to wash it thoroughly and keep it aside. It's better to soak it for a while so that it will cook faster. And these are the last ingredients. The salt that I used was sea salt, the oil and water. So I just poured some oil in the pan, and as the oil started heating up, I added the spices, all the spices together, and firstly the onion that was needed to be fried a bit, followed by the onion were the vegetables, and as the vegetables were added up, I just stirred them for a while. It's important to add as many vegetables as we can. So if you have a healthy choice, you will definitely go for more vegetables when it comes to cooking such dishes, because you have an option to add as many as you can. So why not take the chance? Then later on adding the quinoa. So I just cooked the vegetables for a while before actually pouring the quinoa, and lastly I'll be adding the salt, mixing it together, and then I'll be covering it with a lid to allow it to cook with the steam inside. I just opened up and checked that it was boiling very hardly, and in around 10 minutes the pulao was ready. I could see there were white sprouts like things that were there with the quinoa, and that is what makes sure that the pulao is ready to be served. I'm gonna have the pulao now because it's already the brunch time, and I think it's the right time to have such a healthy brunch. I'm going to add one more addition to this, that will be the curd. So I'm going to have a bowl of curd with the quinoa pulao. So here is my quinoa pulao that I cooked for brunch on this weekend. We usually have seen all around the world there is so much difference in the cooking, in the eating styles, and this really amazes me that how people have been accommodating, or you can say inhabiting to the changes that take place with the places around the world. So we have to accept the fact that there is a lot of variety in choices in people when it comes to food. When we travel to other countries, it's really difficult to understand or accept the kind of diet that they're having. But after a few days or few months, we become used to that diet. So it means that change is something that we all keep accepting in our life, and it really helps us build stronger relationships.